this is going to be a Nationals recap video. We're going to talk about it. I don't have any videos of me actually doing it at the time of this video. That's why I'm making it. I'm just going to talk about it. So they gave us these nice little scorecards, right? And so that's how I got all my information. I'm going to be looking at it a lot because I don't remember off the top of my head. We have this big old spreadsheet you can see on Iron Podium. It has all the details of how everyone who did everything, and I'm going to go over that just a little bit. But it keeps like literally everyone's records and everything that they did, and it's just a big data collection of this for the super heavyweight and heavyweight class. So yeah, to start with, I myself weighed in at 255, registered for the super heavyweight category. For those that don't know, that is the heaviest weight that athletes can be going into this thing. That is 308 plus, 308 pounds and above. The division consists of people of like the 275 to 308 and that limit, and then 308 and above. So these are all really big boys. Hands down, 100% the smallest out of all of them by weight and height. So most of these guys had like a foot on, well, maybe not a foot on me. Some of them were about my height, but were very like wide. So they're very, very big. So I did pretty good in it. Overall, I got 4th place out of all of that. So the first event, we did axle press. So yeah, there's nothing really to talk about with that. Axle press was 305 for the first attempt, 325 for the second, 335 for the third. How they did it was with Wessel rules. So it's basically a powerlifting meet. You just got a minute to go up there and do whatever you need to do. Originally, I was going to do 325, 345, or 355, but I did not account for the fact that the ceiling was really, really, really high. Why that matters to me is because like I have an issue with when I'm pressing. I need to like see something or have some sort of depth perception of the ceiling in relation to the floor. It's weird, but what ends up happening, like if it's out, it kind of mimics outside pressing. When I'm looking up at the sky outside, it's like you're looking at infinity, and my feet just start wobbling, and I have balancing issues. But anyway, balancing issues were becoming a thing. So as I was getting heavier with the weights and pressing it was like your feet were doing your happy dance sort of thing. You're just walking all around. So it was becoming a balancing issue, losing balance, and I just didn't feel very stable. So 325 is when I noticed that going on. I'm like, okay, we got to go 335. So I went just to save points. 345, I probably wasn't there because 335 was such a hassle. So I would like press it once, missed it, pressed it again, missed it, and then got it on the third go. None of those were clean. I didn't need to clean it. I didn't drop it, but I just kept re-racking it, and it seemed to work. It was just like, okay, let's get it back behind the neck more, lean back a smidge more, tighter glutes, and more leg power. And third time's the charm. Going off from that one, before I move on, axle press, I got 5th place out of everybody in the super heavyweight division. Overall, no idea. I'll look at that later maybe, but that's all. We'll talk about that in a second. That's real complicated, or maybe it's not complicated. It was hard for me to wrap my head around it at the time. I think I got it now though. But going on to the deadlift for the second event, I got 12 repetitions. We used an axle, and 625 was the weight, so everyone had to go in and rep this thing out. Warm-ups were a little bit. They weren't bad. They were just like everyone was using 405 to warm up, and I'm like, we need more jumps. So we're doing 625, not 405, and everyone just kept like doing 405 for like an hour leading up to this thing. They're just doing singles, and I'm like, what is going on here? But anyway, the last warm up I was able to get in was 555. I walked over to the event hall, or not event hall, the platform, and they're like, yeah, bend model, let's go. And they're like, okay, sure, great. And then kind of like went from 555 to 625, but it worked out. So I got 12 on that. I do have a video of that I'll post. It only shows 10 because Erica, who was our scorekeeper, she was counting my reps, but also she was like recording me. And she's like, well, I missed the first 2, but she's like, I know you did too. You were just going so fast I couldn't record it. And yeah, so thank you, Erica, for recording that. Thoughts on the axle, like, I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. It just kind of is what it is, but I know the not warm-ups, but like the call-outs where everyone was, a lot of people were confused. So a lot of them kind of like, they rushed it or didn't hear their name, but they got rushed, and it hurt a lot of people. But also you had to tie in on your own time. So what that means is they'll say, okay, go. And you just don't start deadlifting. You have to walk in there, you have to strap in, and then, go do your thing. And a lot of people kind of like took their time in doing that. And I rushed it a little bit. Like I took my time on it because I was just like, I need to set this up right because if you set it up right and then you can go a lot faster. You don't have to worry about it. But one of the rings, the tape on the rings, they had it taped off. They're like, so it's even here, it's even there, so you have an even grip on the bar. But one of the tapes was off because I go to wrap around it, and I'm like, okay, this one's good, but this one feels like it is in too far because there was a lot of weight pulling on this one. But I'm like, we're wrapped in, let's just go. So I pulled it crooked, but it seemed to work out all right. After that was a sled drag. So it's not just a sled drag; it's like rope pull sled drag. So you're pulling this rope into you for like 40 feet. You run around it, grab some straps, and you would sled drag, walk backwards for another 40 feet. So I did awful on this one. This one probably cost me the podium, but it is what it is. I got 46.44 seconds over a 40-foot down, 40-foot back course. So this one was kind of hit or miss. We didn't really know how to train for it because they weren't like, okay, here it is. There's some mystery to it. We didn't really know how it was going to go. So they got this Rogue. It's like a Echo sled or something like that. They took some pieces of rubber and glued it to the bottom. So this sled is on an event floor. It's like polished concrete. It has a kind of a different coating. It's not just polished. It's a different coating on it. But anyway, it's real slick. It's not like the most slick thing you've ever been on, but there's some slickness to it. And there was like chalk all over the floor, fine dust, fine powder. So that made the event floor hard to like walk backwards on, personally. The rubber though, that stuck into the floor, and so as you would pull it, it would just be like pull, stop, pull, stop, pull, stop. And then the friction really made it a lot heavier. And then they put 225 on the sled, so when you were pulling it, one of the helpers was like, it was either you pull 225 and you don't have to use as much weight, or you'd have to load it up to like 700 or something, and maybe even beyond that to get to get any sort of like challenge. But the 225 was definitely heavy, and the rope was a little bit smaller than what I was used to, so it was giving me some like grip issues. But it was just like grip it and rip it. I just wanted to finish it at least because like it was getting hard. So yes, that was the sled drag. Notes for that one is probably just like, if you're in the super heavies and you have a sled drag, know that they're all going to have an easier time pulling it backwards because their body weight pushing down helps them stay like glued and positioned into the floor. Whereas if I'm lighter going backwards and I don't weigh as much, and if it's a slick floor, I will have an easier time slipping and falling. So I did the whole water on your shoe thing, and that seemed to help a little bit, but still couldn't like really get back too far into it. Like I was definitely hindered by that. After that is the carry medley. The carry medley is you had a farmer handles, you'd walk them down 50 feet, there'd be a sandbag off to the side, and you would walk it back 50 feet. So this one messed up a lot of people, not just in our class, but just across all the board in all classes. What they did is they had a farmer handle, and so it was top loaded. That means pins up, you load the weights on, they sit flat. And so the length from pin to pin was shorter. So like your stride length and walking, you couldn't really take, like the tall people wouldn't be able to take their full tall stride because they'd bump into the weights. Everyone had to take short steps with it. That kind of played into my strengths. I take shorter steps anyway because I kind of suck at moving. Comparatively to like top level, I'm all right at it, but it's like, to the top level, it's like, no, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So what I did is the handles were like so slick. You go to grab them, and a lot of people are just, grabbing it like a normal, clasp, and it would just like slip right out of their hand because it was like a baby oil handle almost, because the power coating they used on it was just like so, I don't even know if it was fresh is the right word. It was just really slick and a small handle. So what I did is I just grabbed it and hooked it and just like ratcheted that thing in, and it didn't go anywhere. Like you could tell it was definitely like the grip was challenged, but there was no risk of dropping it. I was pretty secure in that. So I just did that, pumped steps all the way down, stepped over, grabbed the sandbag. I took my time on the sandbag, not like a lot of time, but just enough to make sure I had a secure grip on it, because no one got to the sandbag. I think a few did, but quite a few dropped it. So not all 50 people got through that bag. But I was able to get it up and then just walked it over, and then that was fine. So I cleared 35.87 seconds and actually finished the event. And I don't know if I was the only other person. I think there's only one other person like actually finished the whole course, and they finished it in like 25 or something like that. But at that point, it's like I just lucked out. It didn't really matter. Any thoughts on that? Not really. Just it gave a lot of people trouble, and it was kind of funny to watch because all you would hear is like clang, clang, clang of everyone dropping it. It was like for an hour. After that, we went to bag over bar, so we used the same sandbag. It was the sandstone, so it's like a sphere. And this one was packed really tight for a 300 bag. Ours at the gym is 300, and it's not packed this tight, but it was very, very round. Ours at the gym is like more floppy. So I don't know how or what they put in there to get it so tightly around, but either they had like rubber in there to make it distended, or that wasn't 300 pounds, and they packed it with more than 300 pounds worth of sand. Anyway, so everyone had the same bag though. The number across the board was like 3 to 5. A lot of people were getting 3 to 5. I got 7, and I think Simon and a few others got 7. The winning number was 8 though. No one could quite get over 8. I got 8 to my lap on it, and I couldn't, like I got it to the lap and went to go like this, and then my arms just were like, nope, we're done, we can't pull back anymore. And I'm like, well, that's it, that's muscular failure. Just kind of a funny thing. It didn't really change a whole lot, but as I'm doing it, I was wearing these shoes that were kind of like lower to like a low cut shoe. And it didn't have any ankle support on it. And so I'm transitioning under the bar. I'm like turning under to get just faster. So I don't have to go around the bar. So I'm just going under it. As I go under to transition, my heel catches on the side of the yoke that we're going under to load through. And it like knocks my shoe off my heel just a little bit, right? So my shoe's still on, but it's knocked off. And I'm like, oh no, that's gonna come off, isn't it? And then as I'm going, like at number 6, my shoe's like halfway down my foot, and I'm like trying to triple extend, and as I'm going, and like my shoe's just like flying off, so I had to take some time and like kick it off. And everyone's like, what are you doing? You're taking your shoes off. And I'm like, if I'm getting rep number 7, like I gotta take these off. So I get rep number 7, but they're all like, you probably had more time in you if you didn't do that. And I'm like, well, yeah, but not loading, like taking my shoes off was actually kind of a break to get that rep 7. Because on training, I've only ever gotten 6. So I got number 7, and then went around and like was able to pick it for 8. But then that that hoist up tells me it's like, no, I think that was just muscular failure. I don't think I had any more after 7. Because it's like when that was going on in training, it was just like you can't do anything about it. You're just done. So yeah, I gassed out on that. Any notes on this thing? Overall, I think it was a good competition overall. It was really, really close. So we were really tied up. Just kind of, I don't want to say all the way through it, but towards the end of like the 4th event, or going into the 5th event actually, going into the sandbags, like I was in 5th place, Simon was in 2nd place, you had 4th, 3rd, and 1st place. I don't know who was around there, but we were all like a point away. Like it was like you're all like kind of a point off. So it was like neck and neck against 5 people going into the last event. And typically, like I don't ever see that in any sort of nationals. It's typically you have like you're maybe 2 people are dominating it. They just have like all the points. But like there's one person, and a couple of them was like 20 points ahead in the show at one point. But like this class, all 5 of us actually were like a point apart. And then at the end of it, so I got 4th place, and I was 4 points behind 3rd place, which was like 1 point behind 2nd, which was 1 point behind 1st. So like there was a it widened out a little bit, but still not by much. Like that was kind of nuts to me. I'm like, wow, that was a real close showing, like going into this thing. But yeah, that was definitely a very competitive class. So yeah, things to note. Yeah, so definitely made it harder on myself going into a super heavyweight. My wife's kind of pissed at it because she's like, well, if you went in your normal weight class, which I probably would have done the heavyweights at the 275s, she's like, if you went to the normal weight class, you probably would have won it. And I'm going to say, yeah, I can't say for certain, but I would have done really well in it for sure. But my thing is, my hesitation with that is like the weights they were doing were like so much lighter than what we were doing as a heavyweight or super heavyweight. And what we were doing as a super heavyweight, those weights I thought for super heavyweights were already kind of light. And that's what put me in there. Because I'm like, these are the weights that we need to be doing as heavyweights anyway. Like I'm not doing that lighter stuff. I can't get excited about that. But I think I don't know. I think there's just more to be said about it than just like, oh, we need to go to this thing because we know we're going to win it. It's like, no, there's not a whole lot of fun in that for me. I want to go to something being like, you know, you're going to be challenged because that's where the growth is at, right? So going into the super heavyweights, and especially getting Simon, because me and him have been going back and forth for a while. He has gotten the hand up on me more times at this point. I think he's probably like 3 shows up on me right now. Like I got him once or twice before, but now he's like 3 up on me. But anyway, it's always a good battle going back and forth. I love it. So yeah, he got in here and that made it a very fun nationals. But yeah, it was good. It was competitive. The training was really good. It kept me motivated and pushing, and like that's what I need. That's what the purpose of this whole thing was. So the first nationals I did as a middleweight. That was 220. The second nationals I did was as a heavyweight, so that was 275, and then this third one was as a super heavyweight. So in the first 2, I got 6 places both times, and you know the increasing divisions. And this one I got 4th place in the super heavyweight. So I'm like, hey, we're making decent progress. This is good. And then on top of all of that, like, it's just this isn't so much of a not like a lean on or a brag or a cope. It's more of a praise Jesus thing. A week before, like this whole training cycle's just been a roller coaster, going up and down. Nothing's gone as it should, and it's just been like you just kind of want it to be done and over with. The last 4 weeks were actually really good. Everything was really coming together in the last 4 weeks. Like you felt like, hey, this is coming together now, finally. But then the very last week of training, I got sick with some like sort of really aggressive head cold thing. It was like all sinus, but like your throat, very, very, very sore throat, very, very, very congested. And it was just like bad. And I might still have a little bit of that, or I might be nerve shot. I don't know, because this is the day after. And it was like a 9 or 10 hour show. It was a long one. But anyway, so not just the head cold, that's the little thing. That cleared up enough for the show. The big one was literally the 1 week out before this, I tweaked this back in here, right? And it was like tweaked good. Like I could not bend over, and it was like sharp stabbing, shooting pains everywhere. It's like, oh, if I didn't have sciatica before, I certainly have like sciatica / bulging disc now. So typically those take 3 weeks to heal up, but surely by the grace of God, who is like sending all the prayers for that one. That was an answered prayer and a modern day miracle. Because it's like, I was just like, you know, Lord, just help me still be able to go to this thing and have a decent representation of that training, so that all that time just wasn't absolutely wasted. Because I'm like, that hurts me more than anything. It's like, you've trained all this time and you can't even go to the show and display like a fraction or a little bit of what you did. And it's like, I went to this thing and literally displayed, I think it was an accurate representation of what I trained for. It wasn't I don't think it was my best. I wasn't at my best, I don't think. But it was like, it was still, like for the training I was putting into it and what I was doing in training, this was pretty good. Like I'm very happy with it. And I'm very, very, very happy and thankful that I was able to go do this thing and still be walking. Like I walked out of there, I did it, there was no pain, no flare-ups, no incidents while doing it. There was no pain, no flare-ups, no incidents coming out of it. And it's like I'm still walking around. Like I'm beat up today, but I'm still like walking around and stuff and able to bend over and like run and pick up kids and everything. So very, very, very grateful for that. Thank you for Elise and Greg as well for putting me together throughout the week, because I think you guys made a big, big, big difference. All right, so thoughts moving forward. So as far as competitions, I don't really know. I don't think I have anything on the board for right now. I need to work more on personal, like just like life development outside of competing in strongman. I'll probably still be around it and stuff. So definitely still training. The training goals are to become more mobile. So definitely still, like strength is still a thing, but we're gonna really work on the weak points. So like fast twitch fibers, speed, athleticism, bracing in the stomach, postural stuff. So yeah. So these are like the things I want to work on. It's really just kind of filling out this frame of like 250 and recompositioning it and just making it better so that I work better in this body, especially getting like the metabolism and everything down. So basically, so I don't feel as fat, because I feel fat at 250. I want to feel very fit at 250. So that's kind of the goal. And I say all these things, and it sounds like I'm backing down, but what's probably going to happen, because I say this at the end of every contest, it's like, well, okay, I'm going to pull back a little bit and do. What's probably going to happen is I'm going to go even harder than I ever have been, and we're just going to send it to the moon and get way stronger. That's probably what's going to happen. But anyway, I think that is a pretty accurate representation of what happened to this Nationals. I can't think of anything else to add at this point. I'm sure there's more stuff. There typically always is. But maybe that's for another video, or like questions. Throw questions in the comments if you have any of them. But yeah, I'm going to put this out there, and I guess more videos to come. See ya.